So, it's my transformation vlog day 6. Today is July 7th, and I just noticed that it's 7717. I don't know numerology well enough to know if that's significant, but I've been gambling long enough to know if you see 3 7, something good happens. So, today has been eventful. Eventful. Not as much on a evolutionary scale, but some interesting synchronicities. So, in one regard, I'm finishing up getting my mother her new phone. She's been on my plan. We recently switched carriers, and it has been a huge ordeal to get her a phone that works with her number on it. Over the last week, it's just been a major pain in the butt. But I think we're just about done. And the part that's funny was that all of this was over getting her a replacement flip phone, and in making sure that she had a number that worked. I let her have my other iPhone. And so now she wants smartphones when she patently refused them for like 5 years. I have a feeling I'll be hearing a lot more from her now that she has a smartphone, and hearing a lot more about all the different things that she can now do that she wasn't able to do before. So hopefully it's a good thing. It may end up being a mixed blessing. Other thing is my boys just came back from vacation. They were up in Maine with their mother, and they just got back today. So I got them pretty much as soon as they got back from the airport, and it was just really good to see them again. I missed them. For some reason more so this week than most times, but I really missed them, and it was really good to see them again. But I noticed in their return, two things jumped out. So, just for reference, my boys are 6 year olds, 6 year old twin boys. And the one had lost a tooth before they flew up to Maine to go visit their uncle and their grandmother. And it was literally like right before they were getting in the car to go to the airport. And so, lo and behold, the tooth fairy wasn't there to give them their whatever for his lost tooth. However, in a stroke of genius, their mother decided to have the tooth fairy write a letter with an IOU. I thought that was kind of funny and a little ingenious on her part. But it made me think about all the different ways that we as parents have to adjust, have to improvise, all in the name of keeping up these childhood lies that we tell our children. It got me thinking, well, how much different is that with what we do for children in their youth, so that they have these figures, these reward centers in their lives, from what we do for ourselves as adults. And truthfully, I don't think it's any different. I mean, I know people that have bent themselves in half over, the Tooth Fairy, Cupid, the Easter Bunny, and don't even get me started on Santa. Well, sure enough, my one son decided to get me started on Santa, which has long been a personal struggle for me, because I can remember when I was old enough and first made that discovery. It was kind of crushing to find out that that wasn't real. And sure enough, same son that told me about the Tooth Fairy comes into the kitchen while I'm cooking dinner and asks me, "Daddy, is Santa real?" And I'm like, "Dude, you just got back. How are you dropping all of these questions on me like right now?" I'm like, all right, no warming up for parenting today. Now, thankfully, blessedly, he was, so intrigued by the TV, he ran back in before, I had to answer the question. And I thought about this for a while because, obviously he's got a twin brother. So if there's going to be a reveal, both of them need to be ready. Otherwise, at least one of them is going to be crushed. And, I guess that's part of what I have to deal with because, we've allowed them, or we've allowed them to let other people sell them on the idea of Santa. Santa is not celebrated in my house. Christmas is, but Santa isn't. But, between the TV that they watch, between the school that they go to, between going to Sunday school, somehow Santa got embedded in their idea of Christmas. And, the time is going to come for them to have to lose that old story of what Christmas is, and come to a new story that they can still take part in, that they can still own, that they can still find joy in Christmas without that particular mythical creature being part of it. And yeah, I mean, when I thought about what it will take to have that discussion with the boys, and whether or not they're ready for that change, that evolution in their understanding, it circled me back to my own evolution and how I understand the world. What myths or lies I've been telling myself or allowed myself to believe that other people have told me. And I don't think it's any different for me than it is for them. Just, I don't have to be quite as soft, or kid gloves with myself as I do with them, although I do from time to time. So yeah, I think there's going to be a bunch of evolving of understanding in my house in the coming days and weeks, but I'm not going to push them to it. I want to actually make sure they're ready, and that they have a sense of it already themselves, before throwing that on them, because it can be especially rough to have that thrown at you when you weren't ready for it. And it's making me circle back to how I treat myself. The whole, I came in going, all right, well, I'm gonna awaken, I'm gonna evolve, I'm gonna transform, and all these things are gonna happen, and all of them are gonna come at once. And I look back and go, if all the things that had happened in the last year had happened to me all at once, I probably would have committed suicide. I wouldn't have been able to take it all. I just wouldn't. And so when I look back and I see how these things kind of parceled themselves out, I'm grateful that they came to me in pieces. And I'm, grateful that where it's needed for my boys, I can do that for them. So, as much as I've begrudged the fact that this is a very long process, probably one of the longest I've personally gone through, in hindsight, I'm kind of grateful that it's a long process, because had this all come at once, yeah, it would have completely bowled me over. So that's what I got for today. The journey continues. Talk to you later.